The news summary. Good evening. The United States has reopened its embassy in Seychelles. President Wiva Ramkalawan and other high officials from the three branches of government attended the official opening of the embassy, which also coincided with the working visit of the Deputy Secretary of State for Management and Resources, Richard Verma. The new embassy located in Victoria at the Oliaji Trade Center comes after a 27-year absence. During that time, Seychelles fell under the jurisdiction of the U.S. Embassy in Mauritius. The opening of the embassy has been described by Mr. Verma as a new chapter in the bilateral relations between the two countries. He indicated that in time, Seychellois will not need to travel to Mauritius for visa formalities.
We are trying to reduce the number of people that actually have to go for an interview. So those categories of visas that require an interview are actually down to just one or two categories. We understand that still requires a trip to Mauritius. So give us an opportunity to set up shop here with an embassy, and then let's see what the next phase brings. But I go back to Washington with an understanding that this is an important priority. And again, you know, when you look at what an embassy is there for, it is really there to serve the people, serve the people of the Seychelles, and serve people who have a U.S. connection in some way. And so if we can improve that service, we will certainly do that. But the first step was getting this embassy started again. Let us work on trying to do more in the consular area in the months ahead.
The executive board of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, has approved a 3-year arrangement for Seychelles under the extended fund facility in an amount equivalent to $56 million. It has also approved a 3-year arrangement under the Resilience and Sustainability Facility in an amount equivalent to $46 million.
The board says that under the previous EFF approved in 2021, Seychelles has made substantial progress in restoring macroeconomic stability after being hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. The new EFF will build on this progress and maintain macroeconomic stability, boost inclusive growth, and strengthen fiscal and monetary policy frameworks. It adds that the Resilience and Sustainability Facility will support the Seychelles authorities' agenda to build resilience to climate change, to exploit synergies with other sources of official financing, and to help catalyze further private financing for climate-related investments. The Minister for Finance, National Planning and Trade, Nadi Hassan, has welcomed the approval by saying that the IMF has proven to be a strong and faithful partner of Seychelles throughout the country's economic downturn, and that the government is equally grateful to the IMF for recognizing the vulnerability of our country to climate change and the high cost of boosting our resilience to such phenomena.
The Cabinet of Ministers has taken certain decisions with regards to the 13th month salary. It has also been advised of a policy review for sale of land to non-Seychellois for residential purpose. During their meeting held yesterday, the Cabinet also proposed the transformation of Ile Perseverance Secondary School to a national technical and vocational secondary school as from January 2024.
The government agreed that the moratorium that exists in respect of restriction of sale of residential property to foreigners has to remain for now. That will give the government the possibility to study the way prices have moved over the last 2 years that the moratorium has existed. We also believe that going forward, we may need to look at some formulas, perhaps set a threshold above which sanction may be granted, and those below the threshold, we keep the moratorium. Even if it is allowed that the land is only given so to speak, for a period of time that it can stay in the hands of a foreigner. But after a while, it would revert back to the state. That is also a thinking. But that is just thinking at this point. As far as the 13th month is concerned, what has been approved is that for this year and the next 2 years, the method of calculating the 13th month will remain as is. In other words, 50% will be obligatory, and the other 50% will be based on performance. But from what we can also agree for this month is that from now, henceforth, will be that if the worker has worked for less than a year, we remove that restriction so that they're still eligible for the 13th month pay, 50% fixed and 50% based on performance. And we also immediately remove the restriction of the wage, which is $45,450, above which you would otherwise not be entitled to. But now this restriction is being lifted, so everybody would be entitled to it. What's also agreed is, as from 2026, that the 13th month should be fully based on performance. Further to the decision to have a vocational school, that the Ministry of Education has proposed plans as to how to implement that. And the idea is that from 2024, which is next year, they will have the first intake of 500 students. And the next year, they will have 1,000 students. Then there will have to be a redistribution of some students from Perseverance School to other nearby schools, which would include Beloni. There would be Beloni, English River, and Mofleury.
There are currently 5 fishing associations receiving support from SFA, but the participation of fishermen in association is low countrywide. During the 20th meeting of the Implementation Committee of the Mai Plateau Trap and the Line Fishery Co-Management Plan, the member of the committee discussed the ways to encourage more fishermen to join associations. The next meeting will be held later this month. 7 non-governmental organizations are participating in the first 3-day Ocean Fair, which is being held at Camion Hall. The event has been organized by the Danifo Foundation to educate the public on the importance of protecting the ocean and ensuring it will remain for future generations. The participants include the Department of Environment, Seychelles Maritime Academy, SECAT, the Ocean Project, SIF, amongst others. Lauren Faure, the Executive Director of the Danifo Foundation, says the aim of the event is to increase awareness of the vital role the ocean plays in our lives and the importance of protecting it.
With this Ocean Fair, our main objective is to promote the importance of sustainable oceans. And today we've gathered around 8 NGOs, artisans, artists. We've got the Maritime Academy, we've got the Department of Environment. And through this fair, everyone's gathered together to showcase what they're doing, the important and amazing work that they're all doing, individually but collectively, to contribute towards the promotion of the conservation and protection of the ocean and sustainable development of the ocean.
And that's it for the news summary. We'll be back at 8 with the Creole News Bulletin. Bye for now.